right, we are on day 20. I will go first today.
Okay.
So I actually felt called to pulling from the money and the law of attraction card and divine abundance deck. So this one is my every story is attracting its vibrational match. It's almost just like what was said yesterday. Every thought that you think is vibrating at a very personal frequency, and by the power of law of attraction, and this is in parentheses, the essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn. That thought is now attracting another thought that is its vibrational match. And now those combined thoughts are vibrating at a frequency that is higher than the thought that came before. And they will now, by the law of attraction, attract another and another and another and another until eventually the thoughts will be powerful enough to attract a real life situation or manifestation. Ooh. And then the other one, it's crazy because they're almost like color coordinated the same, is inner power. Give me the courage and the power to do what must be done.
Beautiful. Got that lion.
What about you, mademoiselle?
Are you gonna say anything about it, or are you just gonna read it?
It makes a lot of sense because like when you're in a not so much of a spiral, but you have moments. I had like a moment yesterday, and I noticed that in the midst of that moment, I was thinking very negative, and so I was like trying to change it. Because I'm like, that's not the outcome I really want. So just because we're in a mood, why are we thinking those thoughts?
Attitude.
Yeah, the attitude. So so then I like was quickly trying to be positive during the midst of that emotional situation. So
So it work.
So it makes a lot of sense. It is hard to switch when you are in a moment or you're in either a heated argument or you're just having a bad day or whatever the situation is. Like, we just got to practice taking a deep breath and in the midst of that moment trying to switch those thoughts because like you have time to stop that negative vibration turning into those negative thoughts. So if you can try to switch those, and that's what the practice comes in, and be like, what do you actually want out of this situation? Because in the moments of anger, you're only acting out of anger versus what you really want. You know what I mean? And then so because you're acting out of anger or feeling out of anger, you're putting the law of attraction out, or the vibration of the anger that you're feeling instead of what you're actually really wanting.
Yeah. Does it work?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think big thing too is if it doesn't work, you have some healing to do. Like shadow work would be good. Like if you're sometimes it can be like kind of be toxic positivity. So you're experiencing a moment and you're like, no, I'm not going to experience this anger. I'm going to like call in something different. But there might be something anytime that we experience emotion that's negative or whatever, it's inviting us to something. It's inviting us to look at something deeper, right? And that requires like either therapy or a coach or some shadow work or some journaling, and like because it can be really harmful if you're just like, I'm angry, no I'm not going to be angry because like and you're that's kind of bypassing. So it's like if you can witness your anger and allow yourself to be angry, but like choose in that moment compassion and allowance, and then kind of be like, okay, I can see that, and I can see why that is. Also, it's true that we don't have to be mad. This doesn't have to be a thing,
Right?
You know what I mean? And like this, there's like it's like a really intricate way. You know what I mean? Like I think it's really important to like do like know that some situations do require us to just be like, this is stupid. Like this isn't a it's not that it's invalid, but it's just not worth the time to like be angry. So yeah, I can shift places and call whatever in I want. And
Yeah.
then there's other times where it's like if it's a pattern or it keeps coming up, then it's requiring a little bit more in-depth work, you know.
Right.
So I agree with that. I think it's great. And I think it's really true because our attitudes about things, like sometimes it's really just about shifting the attitude to perspective.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
I always use the statement of like, what's that one thing like? Is it will it be relevant in 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years? And if the answer is no to any of them, then it's not really worth it, you know? And so
Right.
it's like my mom was very big on like road rage, and it's just like that instance of anger and like frustration towards somebody is only going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt that person because they don't know that they might not even seen you. That's why they cut you off or whatever. Or you might be interpreting the situation. There was one time where she drove out, she turned in front of somebody because there was like a light or whatever. And so she crossed traffic, and this guy was like making a face, apparently. And she was like, why are you looking at? I didn't cut you off. I'm just going. Like she was just like, and I was like, dude, what if the sun is in his eyes and that's why he's making a face? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, he made a face at me and I'm not doing anything wrong. And I was like, why do you think it's about you? You know?
Right.
And I feel
Right.
like that attitude is like, and then she was just like angry. Like she was just like, you could tell that she was just like sitting in this like frustration. And I was like, that person probably didn't even notice you. Like,
Right.
and so things like that is just like, there's no reason to be like up in arms about something that you just like ruined your this attitude just ruined your day. But like there are things that are like really upsetting and things that are happening in the world that are really real and painful, and there's
Absolutely.
reasons to get upset about, but it also requires a little bit more of like feeling into it and deciding if this is something worth your time and energy.
Right. Like finessing it.
Yeah, totally.
What is your wisdom from spirit today?
Mine is everyone learns differently at different times and at different paces. And comparison will steal your joy and your worth. And like so it's just it makes you feel unworthy to be like, oh, that person is getting XYZ and I'm not, like, so you're kind of in this like lack mentality, or like I'm not as far as that person, or oh, I just started my business and this person is already making multi-million dollars, or like I wish I would have started my journey like 10 years ago instead of just 5 years ago, or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that person has been like coaching for this long, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like really about like taking charge and like changing your mindset, because it's like we're all here blooming, we're all different flowers and we're blooming at different paces, and if you force yourself to bloom before your time, it's going to be a struggle as opposed to just like letting it flow and the seasons to come and go as they're supposed to, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
Makes a lot of sense. And because I've been there. Remember how I said like sometimes I'm like I'll see like example you or Ashley, you guys are able to like do this full time, and I'm like, and it just sucks sometimes, like especially when I'm still going to work and I'm like I'd rather be at home right now, But I don't really sit there and like try to compare. But it's still a human side of me. It's like I want to be there one day. I'm going to be there one day, So it's like, instead of just
yeah,
saying I want to, I try to say I'm going to be there one day.
exactly. I think that that's a big thing too, is like if you can take your jealousy or your frustration or your comparison or whatever it is, instead of letting it consume you, be a catalyst for your future. Like I think that that's really productive, you know what I mean? Instead of letting it tear at your worth and say like, oh, because they are there, I'll never get there. You know what I mean? Like that's a different mindset. I think that's kind of like the premise. It's like you coming back to the quote, it says your problem is you are too busy holding on to your unworthiness, Ram Dass. Like that's like what happens is like when we're looking and comparing and stuff like that, I feel like it's a big thing about you're just holding on to unworthiness. And when you hold on to unworthiness, you can't go anywhere. And I think that's like a big thing with gratitude and abundance too, is like, you know, or that movie talking about part X, like gratitude helps you break through the cloud of unworthiness and shame and like all of these things, because we are blessed with a lot of things and you can see that. And like it really is a shift in mindset, but it takes some healing and some work, effort.
Yeah.
So
Speaking on the movie we're talking about is called Stutz, and it is on Netflix. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but Stutz, Stutz, and it was
highly.
Jonah Hill uh directed it. So really,
Yeah.
really good. I still have like 30 minutes of it, but I was like, wow. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It did a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like how he just finally like broke free and was just like down to earth about himself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at first he was like,
This is about you, not me.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Or not even that, but then he was like, well, if I am gonna be like, if I'm gonna record this, then I might as well put my personal self into it. And so that I really like that when he
Yeah,
finally
I did
like,
too. I think that made it a lot better.
yeah. All right. So the exploration is identify 3 ways of being. So like recurrence, you indulge in which diminish your experience of being worthy. For example, I should be doing, or I can't afford, or overeat. Now give yourself a hug and really appreciate how wonderful you are.
I think one big thing is like when I'm creating, I always think I can't afford like nice like equipment or like a studio or like a editing team, and that kind of gets in the way of like being like, oh, I shouldn't record or I shouldn't create, and like that's because it's not good enough, which is like worth, right? Like so it goes back to like it's not good enough, perfectionism and unworthy, like so it's like unworthy, and that really blocks my creativity because like people who started off that do have teams and good equipment and studios where it's like quiet and like ambulances aren't like driving by or dogs aren't barking or whatever, like they all started here, you know what I mean? They all started with like maybe not so good video or audio quality, but they just did it anyway because they felt like they had something to share.
No, I totally get that. You that's kind of like how I was when we first started, but I just slowly, as you see, slowly I slowly bought the equipment. You don't have to buy it all up one all you don't have to buy the equipment all up front. You can slowly um buy equipment when it comes to equipment, and then or like a team, you can set a budget, or a goal budget for what you want or would be able to afford for a team, and then just like kind of start slowly saving up for that, and like like, hey, I want to be able to afford a team like this time next year or something. I mean, that's what I would do on that end of the aspect of the helping side of you, like yours. But no, I mean, I get it, because I kind of thought that at first when we started recording these, and I was like, I'm just gonna go all in and start recording. And I was like, oh well, she sounds better, and you look glowy, and more precise, and um but I just kept going, even though I was like, well, my quality sucks, but it's all right. I'm just gonna, go dive in, because there's gonna be other people that are gonna start off at where I started off, where you started off. And that kind of goes to what I was blocking myself as, like, when I was like reading or like not reading, but like going through the coaching courses, like the things that would go in my head is like, I'm not Megan, or I'm not Ashley, or any of the other coaches that we know. I'm like, I'm not as good as them, or like, maybe my videos or qualities are not going to be as good enough, and just those things still pop up momentarily. Like, I still made a bunch of videos, and I need to go through and edit what I have for the wire wrapping course that I'm creating. But like, as I'm doing it, in the midst of doing it, I'm still like was struggling, like, because like I said, I was like, I have a different views on it, 'cause I didn't know. And actually, I think, like, I'm gonna have to come up with another video outside of that, once I figure out the right placing for my camera, because I was trying to look up, like, where to place your camera when you're wire wrapping. Nobody had nobody has any kind of like visual help for people that want to like record themselves wire wrapping, because I'm like, how do they place it so naturally, where they're still able to, like, are they using a phone or are they using a camera? Because I'm using a camera, and I could not find any videos anywhere. So like, I'm gonna have to figure the best way. Like, if I should just keep using my camera, I might use my phone and the little like mic that I have, and see what happens. But that's just a lot of data on my phone, which is what I didn't want to do. So, but anyways, sorry, off track, because there was like an idea that popped up. I'm like, I need to create a video for other people like me who don't know where to start.
Right.
So, but that there's still that fear inside, like, what if it's a stupid idea and that's why nobody else created it? But
Yeah.
then there's the other side of, what if it's the best idea ever, and that's what puts me off in my career, because nobody has done it.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I guess that's what holds me back. So now we're going to give ourselves a hug, because we know we are worthy. And no matter what kind of equipment, or if we have a team or don't have a team, we are worthy, and we appreciate how wonderful we are.
It's three of them. That was only one.
Oh, three of what?
So you have to identify three ways of being.
Oh, dang
I
it.
have.
So like, I'm good where I'm at.
The other one is like, I'm not capable of doing something. So like cooking for myself, or because it's too hard, or I don't know how, or no one taught me. It's just like, it's always like kind of like an excuse, because I like know that I'm smart and capable of learning, but it's like kind of like blocks me from moving forward, because it's like a crutch or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the second one for me is always been a time management issue. And now it kind of made it worse with the job that I have, my 9 to 5, with it never knowing when I'm going to get off work. I'm like, I already have time management issues, like, I know when I start, but I never know when the day is going to be finished. And so I also feel like that holds me back, because like before, like, okay, with my website, I'm like, my website's crappy, and I don't want to promote it. I don't want to promote it right now at all. I don't want to, like, because nobody could, because the website I have doesn't, have the calendar or things I really, really need. And um, then because of my time management, I wasn't able to make the time before. And so I'm like, I don't have the time. Or even when I have the time, I stressed myself out, like, kind of like the first couple of days before I started recording, I like got so overwhelmed on wanting to make it perfect that I ended up going and binge watching TV. And so time management is, one of my things that plays very deeply in my life. That I use against myself.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's also hard because it's like, well, time is not important, but unfortunately in the earth realm it is, like it really isn't, but it is, it's like once we're spirits, in spirit form, it doesn't matter, but we are on earth and we, our body, these physical bodies only last for so long, so that, also plays in my mind. I'm like, I am young to some people, but I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. And, I want to, manage my time better so I can get my business up and going. And that way I don't have to worry about like what kind of money I'm bringing in when I retire or, people that are struggling once they retired.
Yeah. I've worked through my time pretty well. Like that's something that like I wish I could bring that same logic that I use for time to money because
Yeah.
both time and illusion and time and money are illusions, right? So but I don't know how to like I there that was one thing where it was like there was something that just clicked one day where I was like time is illusion and like I just don't keep track of time and I'm always on time and I'm always exactly where I need to be and it's really cool. Like and then there's it's not every single day, but like for the majority of it, but like there's once in a while where I'm like in a hurry or whatever and I'm like it's making it worse. Like and so like I don't know how to teach that, but like those are the two things I was actually watching Ashley's TikTok about um are like about the like where we put these like limits. Like this is talking about identifying like these currents where you like block yourself. Like if you imagine like abundance and flow and creativity and ease are all like currents flowing towards us, we stick these like boulders and like dams in the currents and block ourselves, and like time is one of them, money is one of them, you know what I mean, for a lot of people. And so
Makes a lot of sense.
I totally understand that. But yeah, I have no like there was just something that clicked one day that I was just like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be, like, and I'm just going to trust. And if anybody else has a problem with it, then they can take it up with me. But like nobody's ever said anything. And so if I'm late or if I'm like whatever, like it just happens. And, you know, I don't put a lot of pressure on it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little different though, because like when it came to like when I was working, I was constantly saying, well, I should be doing XYZ for my business and stuff like that. But I was like totally burnt out. I didn't realize it. So, but now it's a little bit different. But even then I would work on like being somewhere exact when I was supposed to be there. You know what I mean? And just trusting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm slowly getting there on that aspect, but with me still having my 9 to 5, that's where
Yeah.
it is hard because, like you said, you get burnt out, and that's why I'm still glad that I switched over to the 4-day work week because then
Yeah.
I have that extra day that even if I want to be lazy, I have a day that I can be lazy, and then I have 2 days that I can dedicate to business or
You
whatever
should
else.
really change your wording on that. It's not lazy.
Uh, self healing when I want to do some self
There
healing.
you go. I think people feel like because if they're not productive, they're lazy, but I think that's more harmful
Yeah.
because we're allowed to have like recoup days and
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm glad that you said that because, no, yeah, I'm not lazy. It's just I'm burnt out from work sometimes, especially if I'm doing 14, 16-hour days, which is what's going to eventually happen with the 4-day week where they're going to try to jam 5 days into four.
right.
So, that's why I'm like, okay, at least I know I'll have, a recoup day if I'm
Yeah.
that exhausted when the first day comes, or by the third day off, like I can
Right.
just, I'm going to sit and binge on TV today or take naps.
There you go. My third one is expecting things to be exactly how I want them, and it kind of blocks the creative or new ways of like receiving. Like I expect it to look like this, and then when it's kind of like you know that joke that's like where the guy climbs a mountain, he gets stuck on the mountain and he prays to God, like, God, please come save me. And a climber comes and is like, hey, you need help down? And he's like, no, I'm waiting for God. And then the next one was like a helicopter comes in and he's like, hey, you want saving? He's like, no, I'm waiting for God. And then the next one comes like it's like you know, a snowmobile or whatever. It's like, you want help down off the mountain? He's like, no, I'm waiting for God. And he ends up dying and going to the pearly gates, and he goes to God like, what the hell? Like, I was waiting for you. And he's like, I sent you 3 people and you denied all of them. So it's like, when we tend to expect it to look a specific way, right? We end up missing what it really is. And I feel like that's kind of one of my bigger blocks, where it's like, I expect it to be like this, and when it doesn't show up like this, I get upset. And then I'm sure my spirit team and God is like, God damn it, Megan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, you know what? I'm glad you touched on that, because that's not the one I wrote down, but once you said that, I'm like, yeah, I have that same issue. You know, like you hit me into realization, like it's probably the other thing I blocked myself or overwhelmed myself for was the expectation of how I wanted it to be, and it just seemed like and when then I finally surrendered. Remember, I was like, this isn't connecting right. This isn't doing, nothing's going right. And I was like overwhelmed, and because I expected it to go a different way. So yeah, you touched on that for me. The other one that I wrote down is money management. Because sometimes I just go and, which, helps the flow, where I just go and spend, but I'm not watching what I'm spending. You know what I mean? But I also do need to be better, better at managing my money. Which also, I guess, makes me feel contradictive to this journey that we're on. You know what I mean? Like, I have goals, and, just like you. So we do have to save money, and for reasons, not just to save, but, like, you want to save for the Etsy thing, which I need to ask you about that, because I was like trying to look it up. So it's like, example, you want to have money for that, so it's like we got to save for that. And I did say in here it's okay to save, especially if it's for a specific reason. And also we want to save for, our trip for like IVF, or even like I feel like we should have like, some finance put away for when that time comes, for when I have a child, because children are not cheap at all. I mean, but also, then, like I said, that's where I feel contradictive, because I'm like, well, I have to trust that the universe is going to handle that when the time comes. Like, if I, so that's why I'm like,
Did you hear what you said?
contradict myself.
No, you said, I have to trust the universe.
Oh yeah, yes, I did. I
Like,
just did it.
it's a burden. So the thing here is like, it's not about doing one way or another. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
But the problem is that your energy is divided into two. So when we're feel contradicted, or we're going in opposite directions, right? So the universe sees both of those directions and doesn't do any of it, because you haven't decided. So you have to get your energy to, my dog is going to start howling, the ambulance. Your energy, Sam, your energy is divided. So you have to figure out which one you feel more comfortable with, and then choose that. Because you can trust the universe to provide and save. Your saving doesn't have to be out of lack mentality. It can be for something.
I guess
And
that's
that
like
is,
what was stopping me is like, I was like, well, because like the things I read, and maybe I'm misinterpreting it, is like, um, I have to save it is like a block. So that's why I'm like, am I blocking myself because I want to save for certain things? But then there's also like, saving for certain stuff is okay, like is okay, like, because you have a goal for it.
I think that there's I think that it's more about your energy and your confusion and your division and your battling that makes the universe not show up. in that way because your energy is divided, your focus is divided, and you're not really making a decision. But I think you're in like the energy behind saving is important. Like there's nothing wrong with this saving. There, you know what I mean? Like there's no right way to do life or abundance or whatever. Like you have to go with what's best, but it's important that your whole being be in alignment with whatever you're choosing.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
So, and if your whole being is not in alignment and you feel pulled in multiple directions, shadow shadow work, shadow work. I always say that. That's my prescription for everything. Do shadow work. See, because the more that you're divided, the illusion of division is what really like blocks the magnetism that you are, you know, as a spiritual being. Like you have endless power, right? That's what this whole book is saying. We have endless power, this unlimited supply. But what happens is when you're in these different poles, your energy is divided. And say you have a magnet and then you put 10 pieces of paper on top of it because you're divided. Right. How strong is that magnet going to be able to pull metal? Right. So then you have to go through the paper and one paper at a time to see where your energy is so that you can have your magnet fully exposed. And I think your card about the inner power is really saying that is like we have our heart and our chakras or however you want, our energy centers, our heart specifically is this huge magnetic field. But imagine all of this conditioning and webbing and all of these things around it that is blocking it. So you thinking, well, I should do this or I have to do this or blah, blah, blah. Any of this, like really you're using up energy to focus on that when, you know, that's not really what you need to do. You need to take your whole being and put it into there and like sit in that. And we've been practicing this with our breath work at all the threes is like really feeling into it and just being like, I know that it's coming and I'm trusting. And when we make decisions every single day, whether we eat whatever we eat or we work out or we don't work out, our whole being should be in it. And the more that we're divided, the less you're in your being. Right.
Yeah.
And this is like, I'm talking to myself on this too, because I actually had, like, I was working last night with some shadow work. And that was my big thing is like, my thought was, I don't know how to be, but really it doesn't mean anything other than just be wholly present, wholeheartedly present in whatever you're doing and accept that you've just made this decision and whatever consequences come from that, because you don't really know what's coming. But if you just accept that you've made the decision and come forward and then try to make a new decision, but wholeheartedly be in that. And if you have one foot in one place and one foot in the other, figure out how you can get both feet in the same place so that you can have that energy and that like power, that inner power that you are as a spiritual being. And I think that that's really, really what it is. And I think loving and accepting whatever is coming up for you, whether you decide to save or whether you decide to budget or, you know, whatever it might be. And I think too, like I think it was yesterday, it was like, it's all about asking, like, universe, like, I'm stuck between these two options. Show me what I really want to do. Let my heart pull in some advice or some knowledge that I can follow. Use your dreams.
Yes. And I just seen that you gave me the access to that. So
yeah. So I think that's really what that is. There's no wrong or right way. If you want to save, but do it with your whole heart and with the intention. And you can also do this, you can save and trust the universe at the same time. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Did you read the River Guide already? Oh, wait, I gotta say, yeah. Give myself a hug. I really appreciate how wonderful you are. I really appreciate how wonderful you are too.
I really appreciate how wonderful I am, and I really appreciate how wonderful you are.
We deserve all the wonderful things. We do. So why not love yourself as you love others? And why not love yourself the way that you love others?
such a deep question.
Or why don't you love others the way you love yourself?
That's such a deep question. Well, I know for me, like I always like grew up with the belief and thought of treating others the way I want to be treated, not the way I have been treated, or like I always add that because it's always just treat others the way you want to be treated, and it's like if you look at the things, the traumatic experiences anybody's been through, then I always say I treat others the way I want to be treated, not the way I've been treated, or
Right.
like I still treat others the way I want to be treated, and and then then I would get mad. But I've actually had that question before, like especially from my husband. It's like when we first got together, like how could you love me more than you love yourself? Like how can you not love yourself more? And I was like, it's a very good question. Like
Yeah.
I've came a long way since then. I started getting a lot of help coaching. You helped me a lot, and then counseling, um and I've definitely, like I said, came a long way, because before, like, literally did not have respect and love for myself, but now it's like I do love myself, and mistakes are made, and we can't change what like I can't change what I did yesterday if I don't like what I did yesterday. So there's no point in dwelling on it. You just move forward, and when I think they're like that, it helps me love myself more. Because before, I used to just hate myself because of how angry I used to be. Because I was such an angry person. Like when I was younger, I wanted to go to anger management, and my parents couldn't afford it. I went like once or twice. So they didn't take insurance, and so like I kind of like had to teach myself along the ways. And when you're like a teenager and you're trying to figure out, it's like it's very rough. And so like for a long time, like I guess I resented myself, especially when I got angry. And so for a long time, like I just didn't have the respect for myself like I should have had. And that's okay. Like now, like I said, I can't change that, but it helped me learn, and it's got me to where I am in a better place. Like I've been buying myself clothes and like treating myself, because before I would buy for others before I bought for myself. I would do for others. I'd like get others gifts. And lately I'm like, ooh, I want that. I want that. So like now I'm like indulging in my self-love and loving myself more. So I still like need a lot more help. But I'm in a lot better space than I was like 5 years ago.
That's awesome. I think that's good. I think about how if I treated others the way that I treat myself, I would be extremely isolated and lonely and miserable, more so than I am now. I'm not miserable now, but like it would, like the way that like I treat myself and the standard that I talk to myself and stuff like that sometimes is just like, damn, like if I said that shit to like friends, like they would not be my friends.
Yeah.
Which I would never, because I don't
Yeah.
hold but I hold myself to these like ridiculous standards and stuff like that. So
Oh, for sure. And it's like, I mean, I think about that too, especially before I got as far as I have, and even now, like there's still moments, where I'm like,
yeah.
if I said that to somebody out loud, they probably wouldn't want to be around me.
Right. I just broke my nail.
Oh,
Hurt.
oh yeah.
Like whacked it across.
Was it acrylic or your actual nail?
Both. My nail, it's my nail and it has gel on top of it. Yikes. Okay,
Ugh.
moving on.
Um, I could, yeah, like tongue twister trying to talk there. I
Um,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just going into the next part. I mean, unless you had anything else to say.
No, no, go ahead.
Okay. I acknowledge and thank divine abundance me as the money, credit card, plants, fishermen, shopkeepers, cooks, natural gas, truck drivers, friends and family, cell phone creators, mechanics, because my car's getting worked on, for participating in every meal and every product that I use today. And today I am especially acknowledging mountains. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. I acknowledge and thank Essence and Limited Me as the money, credit cards, plants, fishermen, shopkeepers, cooks, natural gas truck drivers, my nail technician, and this book, and the people who made this book for participating in every meal and every product I use today. And I also acknowledge people who make cough drops, and today I especially acknowledge mountains. My spirit word today is spirit.
Okay, mine is divine.
Okay, would you like to go first?
Yes, but before I want to say why I want to say that that's funny to me is because last night we stopped in my mom's and we were talking about a good memory how we drove to California and she took like over 100 pictures of mountains. So that's why I was like, oh gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
We were just talking about mountains and then it's being brought up today. And then today she's supposed to take some of those photos out and show Ala when we go back to get my car.
Nice.
So thank you, mountains.
Thank you, mountains.
Thank you, mountains. All right. I know I am divine. I almost said spirit. I know I am divine. I am worthy of all the abundance divine me is. Divine is loving, having a Samantha experience.
You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the divine, all the abundant divine you is.
I know it's worded weird. I know I am divine. I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. Divine is loving, having a Samantha experience.
You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is.
Sorry. I know because I know that I am divine. I am divine. And I am worthy of all the divine abundance. The abundant divine me is.
You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is.
I know I am divine. I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Beautiful. You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundant divine you is.
Thank you, because I know I am divine. I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. And divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
I see that you are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundant divine you is.
I am, because I know I am divine. And I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. And divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is.
Exactly, because I know I am divine. I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
It's true. You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is.
Exactly, because I know I am divine. And I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
It's true. You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is.
Exactly, because I know I'm divine. And I am worthy of abundant divine, of all the abundant divine me is. And divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundant divine you is.
Exactly, because I know I am divine. I feel that I am divine because I am worthy of all the abundant divine me is. And divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
I see that you are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is.
I am exactly, that's exactly it, because I know that I am divine and I am worthy of having all the abundant divine me is. And divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
You are loving having a divine experience. You are all the abundance divine you is. This
That
last
was,
one.
yeah, that one was the last one, but I'll do it again.
Okay, no, that's fine. I thought so too, but we didn't say it. So
I know we did. That was like, maybe.
okay, I'll go. I'm moving on.
Okay.
You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
I know I am loving having a divine experience. I am all the abundant divine me is.
You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundant divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Exactly, because I am loving having a divine experience, and I am all the abundance divine me is.
Mm-hmm. You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is having loving having a Samantha experience.
Amen. Because I am loving having a divine experience, and I am all the abundance divine me is.
It's true. You know you are divine, Samantha, and you are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is having loving having a Samantha experience.
Exactly, because I am loving being able to have a divine experience, and I am all the abundance divine me is.
It's true. You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Exactly, because I am deeply in love with the fact that I'm having a divine experience, and I am all the abundant divine me is.
It's true. You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Exactly, because I am loving the experience and having being able to have the divine experience, and I am all the abundance divine me is.
It's true. You know you are divine and you are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Amen. Because I am loving the fact that I'm having a divine experience, and I am all the abundance divine me is.
You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Yes, it is, because I'm also loving having a divine experience, and I am all the abundance that divine me is.
You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. Divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Definitely is, because I'm loving the fact that I'm having a divine experience, and I am all the divine abundance divine me is.
So true. You know you are divine and you are worthy, Samantha, of all the divine abundance you are. And divine is loving having a Samantha experience.
Exactly, because I am loving that I'm having a divine experience, and I am all the abundance divine me is. It's last
Last
one.
one. You know you are divine. You are worthy of all the abundance divine you is. And divine is having a lovely time with having the Samantha experience that is your life and you.
Exactly. And I am in love with the fact that I'm having such a divine experience. And I love the fact that all the abundance divine me is in this moment now.
I know that I am spirit. I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
Well, you are loving having a spirit experience, and you are all the abundant spirit you is. I'm used to being last, so I was like, oh, we're done.
I know I am spirit. I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having us Megan experience.
You are, because you are loving having a spirit experience. You are all the abundant spirit you are in this moment now.
I know I am spirit. I'm worthy of everything all of the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
Yes, because you are loving having a spirit experience, and you are all the abundant spirit you are in this moment now.
I know I'm spirit and I'm worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
Yes, and I see that you are loving having a spirit experience, and you are all the abundant spirit you are.
Um, I know I am spirit and I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
It is. And you are loving having that spirit experience that you are having. And you you, Megan, are all the abundance spirit you is.
It's true. I know I am spirit. Spirit is me. I'm worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
It is. And I see that. I see that you, Megan, love having the spirit experience. And you are all the abundant spirit you is.
It's true. I know I am spirit and I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
I see that. I see that you and spirit are loving having the spirit experience. And you are all the abundance. You are all the abundant spirit you is. Tongue twister.
True. I know I am spirit and I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
That's the truth about it because you are loving having a spirit experience and you are all the abundance spirit you is.
It's true. I know I'm spirit and spirit is me. I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. I
What?
know that spirit is loving having a spirit Megan experience.
Megan experience spirit is having. And you, Megan, are loving having a spirit experience. And you are all the abundance spirit you is.
It's true. I know I'm spirit and I'm worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is having a Megan experience and she's loving it.
Waiting to see if your dog's gonna go off because I heard the ambulance.
Probably.
Is this the last one?
Yeah. Or well, you have to go first and then
One more after that. Okay. So you are loving being able to have a spirit experience right now. And you are all the abundance spirit you is.
yes, this is the last one. I know I am spirit and I am worthy of all the abundant spirit me is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
I see that. And I see that you are loving having a spirit experience. And you are all the abundance spirit you is. And you know that you are spirit. You are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. Spirit is loving having a Megan experience.
It's true. I am loving. Well, and I am loving having a spirit experience. I am worthy and I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Yes. And you know that you are spirit. You know that you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. Spirit is having a Megan experience.
It's true. And I am loving having a spirit experience. I am all of the abundant spirit me is.
Yes, you are. And I know that you are spirit and you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. Spirit is having a Megan experience.
It's true. I am loving having a spirit experience and I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Exactly. Because you know you are spirit and you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you are. And spirit is having a Megan experience.
I am loving having a spirit experience. I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Okay, I get it, girl, because you know that you are spirit and you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. Spirit is having a Megan experience.
It's true. Because I'm also loving having a spirit experience. I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Exactly. Because you know that you are spirit and you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you are. And
It's
spirit
true.
is having a Megan experience.
So true. Because I'm also having a spirit experience. And I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Exactly. Because you know that you are spirit and you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. Spirit is having a Megan experience.
It's true. I am also having a spirit experience. I am all the abundance spirit me is.
Exactly, because you know that you are spirit and you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. And spirit is currently having a Megan experience.
I know I am loving having a spirit experience. I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Exactly, because you know that you are spirit and you know, and if you don't, you should know that you are worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. And spirit is currently having a Megan experience.
It's true. I am also having a spirit experience while spirit is having a Megan experience. And I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Exactly. Because you know that you are spirit and you know that you're worthy of all the abundant spirit you is. And spirit is currently having a Megan experience.
It's true. I am loving having a spirit experience. I am all the abundant spirit me is.
I think this is the last one.
Yep.
Good. Because I know that you know that you know that I know that you know that I know that you are spirit and you know it. And you are worthy of all the unlimited abundant spirit you are, you is in this moment. And spirit is currently having a Megan experience.
It's true. Because I know that you know that I know that I am loving having a spirit experience. And I am all the abundant spirit me is.
Ooh, true, 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 true.
Okay. Ready to feel into this check that we received today?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, my nose.
I'm trying to find my check. Let me write my checkbook here. My checkbook right here.
Oh, me too. I got my checkbook. I got my check.
$256,000.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Samantha from the universe.
Thank you. All right. What a blessing just to see those numbers. And it's a blessing to see those numbers go just as fast as they came, because I am putting $150,000 on a duplex house and putting 100, and the rest of the 106,000 is going to be for renovations.
Woo! Feel that. Got your keys to your new home.
Yeah. My apartment home, my duplex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm renovating it. I have all these ideas. So yeah.
Where's it coming? Where is it gonna be located?
Their first one is definitely going to be relocated like in LaSalle, like because it's in between our jobs.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like if it doesn't have a garage, then I'm using some of that to put a garage.
Mm.
And I'm going to have my office space built into the garage as well.
Ooh. You're gonna have like a mother-in-law suite or whatever.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, soundproof it so you don't hear the ambulances and the dogs and the
Yeah. All right. So where'd my check go? Oh, inside my check. Make sure you hear the scribbling. All right. I'm handing you a $26,000 check. Take it. There you go.
Thank you.
Feel it. Yeah, baby.
And all of this is going to my app development. Developing an app that I've been having for a really long time.
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not going to tell you anybody what it is because I don't want someone to take it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, exactly. Because we're still recording. I was like, I'm not gonna steal it. Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm developing app.
Yeah, feel into that. Feel into it. How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels like. How does it feel? It feels so exciting because I've been working on the algorithm and stuff like that for a really long time in my mind. And I wanted to make it like, at first I was going to make it like a workbook or whatever, but then I realized that it would be so much better as an app and like so much easier for people to like use and stuff. So
yeah,
it feels like liberating, exciting to see this like idea that I've been thinking over the years come into like a beautiful app design that's like a daily thing that like pops up and it's like, hey, time to like check in. And it's all about mental health and wellness and like your whole holistic self,
Right.
and figuring out like what you might need, or what areas you might need to grow in, and like where you need to focus your attention and stuff. So
It sounds
really
really
exciting.
but don't go into any more detail because you don't want anybody stealing it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it because that is going to happen one day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
already happened.
Exactly. It's already
Just pay
happening.
for it with the universe.
Exactly. Hold on one second. He said to tell you hi.
Hi. You want to stop the recording?
Yeah.
You'll have to cut out the last parts of